We are live. Thank you for your patience. We are live. We're going to have a different type of show today. Something that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, something that many people have reached out to me to talk about, because it's not something that is up front and in front of you as much, but very much real and very much something that most of us are just not aware of, especially the fellas. The title, When Your Wife Has a Side Chick, The Secret World of Women on the Down Low. Now, mind you, this is not a topic where I'm focusing on sex. We will talk about that, but that's not really what it's all about. Well, what makes me have the right to speak on this? Well, I've been in the proximity of many women who have had situations like this go on, and I will have to tell a little bit about myself and why I think that I am qualified to speak about this without telling too much about myself. I was in a relationship with someone for 8 years that we met and kind of fell hard for each other. And once we met, we never parted. That was strange. We met, we sat up all night talking, we clicked hard and just couldn't shake each other's company. Just like that. And we stayed together for 8 years. And after being up all night, after meeting, because people who met her and met, or who knew me, basically said, listen, we know somebody who you'd love to be with. You got to meet him. They knew, they saw her personality, they saw my personality, and it was true. She was perfect to me as far as I knew at 22 years old. And she felt the same way about me. The things we thought, the abstract things, the strange things about us that are strange to other people, but it clicked for us. So on the way home to drop her home, I went inside, we stayed up all night, we talked. She came back with me to my place. The only time we parted is when we had to go and earn our money. And we were right back. We just stayed with each other. It's crazy. But that's what happened. And I'm an easy going guy to talk to. Men, when they talk to me, the typical man that has the ego and the macho and the pissing contest, I don't really get along with those types. I never say that it's mostly women, but women get along with me quite well. I'm easy to talk to. You can open up, talk to me about anything. And so she said to me after about maybe 2 or 3 weeks, she said, listen, there's one more thing I want to tell you about myself. I said, well, what is that? She says, I'm attracted to women. Now, me being a person growing up in New York City, I kind of know or knew a whole lot about many factions of it. It wasn't like, yeah, I got busy with these 2 chicks. No, it wasn't about that. Eventually, we got into that a whole lot, but that is not what this topic is about. I'll save that for the Patreon, all the crazy stuff, which I've shared a lot more on the shows before, piece by piece. So as a person growing up in the city of New York and who was kind of quite experienced at that point, and it wasn't a negative, it wasn't anything really. It was just, okay, that's who you are. We just met. We really are attracted to each other and it got intimate at that point. But It wasn't a struggle for her, but she just wanted to make sure because she knew that I would not have a problem with it. And I wasn't looking at it like, oh yeah, we can have fun. We can connect the dots. We can do like a Lego set and bring others in. I've done that already lots of times. It wasn't a thing for me. I was really into her energy. And so she told me to the extent, and that possibly if she found somebody attractive and they found her attractive, would it be a problem with me? She had no problem sharing, but it wasn't about that. I said, listen, no problem. It was basically open. And she said, listen, if you meet somebody that you're attracted to and you want to hang out with them or spend time with them, just let me know. But me and you are going to be together. I was like, wow, there's a different kind of relationship here. But it wasn't a frantic move to just have somebody and just run with other people. I could flow the way I always knew to flow. Okay, let's see how this works out. Well, she did hair. She was a hairdresser eventually, not right away. But she went to school while we were together and she was pretty good with it. She was one of the best. And I'm leading it this way because I could tell it another way. I'm not into the sensationalism. I'm more into the emotional thing tonight with this particular situation. So she had the proximity of being around lots of women doing hair. And she would come back home and tell me the stories of what they were going through in their life and different things. And I was one who knew how to keep my mouth shut. But we were like, you know, Bonnie and Clyde. We were a dynamic duo, but I kept my mouth shut. So she was telling me how she would get different vibes from different women. And she would explain to me how she may or may not have been attracted to them. Now, I'm not speaking about like just to bring them home. I'm setting up my situation, or I'm setting up this show by speaking about my situation, which gave me tremendous insight into this world. And I'm going to take it away from my situation and in general through what I have observed personally. And this is what gives me maybe the right, because there may be women out there who says, you're a guy. How do you know about this stuff? Well, I lived this for 8 years constantly. It was a part of my lifestyle. So I lived a lot different than people around me. Some knew and some didn't, but it wasn't something that I was trying to exploit because we still had a core relationship. Now, pulling it away from me in my situation, which I will add a little bit more in, she knew women who, by being there to be in her chair every week or twice a week or every 2 weeks, she got to know them. They talk. The hairdresser, the stylist becomes part of their psyche. This is the person I can talk to, that I can tell my situation. And after a time of that trust, they would get close. She would tell me things. I would get to meet these young ladies sometime. And eventually, in the back of my house, I added on a small beauty salon where when there was overflow, a lot of the customers would come to the house, which was a very dangerous situation around me at that time. But I was cool. Now let's take it away from that. Let's take it away from me. Those are my qualifications. I can get into the gory details, but again, it wasn't just a sexual thing. I had a chance to speak with many of these women who opened up about that with my old girlfriend. And I had discussions with them. And lots of times we all three got involved, or maybe it was just them. Didn't matter to me. Now let's take it away from my situation, because this is not about me. This is about wives, not with the knowledge of their husbands. Okay? Because a lot of those clientele of my old girlfriend, they were creeping behind their husband's back, usually with another woman, or they had a desire to do so. Now, who is going to give statistics properly? Nobody on this subject is going to give it, because the same way when we talk about down low brothers who have a wife at home, but they're creeping with another man, who's going to really be honest if there's a survey? Okay, man, there's 100 of you. I want you all to be honest. It might be 60% of them doing that or open for that. but the results might show 13%. So we can't really say, because who wants to reveal what is really going on with themselves on the inside? But I will say this, there's a lot of frustrated women out here, and it has nothing to do with sex. A lot of us brothers, lots of times, we bypass the emotional. We bypass the romanticism. We bypass the true intimacy. We bypass the foreplay. And I say that point, but I'm not speaking just about sex. We bypass the closeness. We bypass the eroticism. We bypass the warmth. And we're men. We're not women. There are certain women out here who, and I'm trying to explain this to the best of my ability, and I want women to respond who can respond. If you don't want to respond publicly, hit me with an email at lance@lancescurv.com. I will not reveal who you are, because I'll do a follow-up show with this, hopefully with people who want to call in. But I know there are not going to be too many women who call in, because it's like they might know my voice. But as men, we can satisfy a woman on all fronts, but if she may have had some deficiency in her life, and I'm not saying these women are deficient in anything, but they may be lacking in their life of the female energy from young. I'm not saying all women who may be open for this. It's a combination and a swirl of so many things. But I find that there may have been trauma in their younger years, a disappointment in a man, a violation from a man, not always in every case. It could be where they had wonderful relationships with their fathers, and maybe they craved more of the emotional connection to their mothers and didn't get that. Not in all. See, okay, let me just get this straight. And everything I state, I'm not going to say not at all. And again, don't come into the comment section, well, you can't say, no, I'm just throwing out different things on the buffet table, and you mix and match in your plate what you see to be the truth. Because it's vast combinations. You know, it's vast. You just can't say one way. I'm just throwing out a few. So we have a woman who may be in a marriage, and she just doesn't get it from her husband. She loves her husband. Sometimes eventually they fall out of love with the husband, but initially she felt she loved the husband, but she may have learned certain things about herself at that particular point in time. Maybe she always knew. Maybe she knew aggressively from within and really might be using that man as a beard, meaning, for those who don't know, a front, a cover-up, so she can appear normal to the world. I'm not going to say you're abnormal if you're doing the other things, but what society expects from you, or you're in a circle of family, oh, she's married, you know, and you're fulfilling them with that, but your real passion is not that man. Your real passion may not be a woman who you know. You may not have anybody, but deep down, you might be open to that if that happens, because there are voids inside of you that you realize. And lots of times, many women out here may not trust men. They date men, but they can't open up all the way. It doesn't do it for them. And then when a man is being a man and being a little macho and a little aggressive and thinking he has to be this way to impress this woman, that's the very thing that pushes them away. It's like, oh, man. They like the penis when they get it, but it's something missing. And again, it's not just sex. They may have little arguments. They may have little things that mean a lot to them that man is not sensitive enough to pick up on, to discuss. You see, many men fight so hard to show you their masculine energy. And there's no man who's a real man who wants to be a woman, no. But we do have a softer side, an emotional side that we never show, because it's not the right macho thing to do. They may not say it that way. They may not say it exactly that way. They may not even say it at all. They may just kind of fall into that because they feel that this is what they have to display. Some of these men would never cry in front of a woman. Some of these men would never show or crave a multi-dimensional relationship with this woman. I'm the man, you're the woman, and that's it. Not showing any sensitivity, not showing any creativity, not leaving that macho, super masculine thing. Oh, just leave it at the door. You're a man. You don't have to prove that you're a man. But then you trying to prove that you're a man to the world and be rough and tough and strong and you're pushing that particular woman who may have these needs into the arms of another woman. Hence, when your wife has a side chick, the secret world of women on the down low. They don't want to change anything. They don't want to be political lesbians. They don't identify with lesbians. They're content living in that shadow world of having their husband and their normal life. And every now and again, if it's not every day, once a week or once, having that friend who can bring them the softer side of things. Having that person who can listen to their fears and their aspirations and their dreams and the little things that these testosteronized men overlook. Isn't that something? I have witnessed this time and time again over the years of my life, because what I learned in that relationship that I was in, I haven't forgotten. There are many women that I see and I'm like, she's going through some things, or she may not be. She's open for that. Now, that's not all I think about, but sometimes when I see people, it can knock me down. And I, for one, have always attracted women, not in my marriages, but in my other kind of unions down to the years, who were attracted to me, but it always seemed like they were open for something like that within their life. And they admitted this to me. They said, Lance, you're different. You got the female energy with the masculine energy. I'm like, I know that. And I embrace that. And some people might say, what do you mean, SCURV? Do you cross-dress? Are you crazy? I would never do that. We're talking about the essence. We're talking about being multifaceted, because sometimes a married couple, that man has to sometimes be motherly to the children. He's not the mother at all. And sometimes that mother has to be a little more heavy-handed and take on elements of what the father is if he's at work or not around. You know, you have a corporate office going on. Do you think that one accountant is the only one who can do accounting for that company? No. Any good company, when that accountant is sick and can't come in for 2 weeks, what is the company going to just fold over in that department? No. Everybody has to know a little bit about accounting so that we can make it until you come back. You understand? So as a parent, you have to understand what the mother does, so that if the mother's not there, or she's in the hospital having another child, or she's sick or whatever, you can cover until. That's what I mean by female energy. Okay? My mother was great as a mother. I have a lot of her in me. Oh, and my father was great as a father, and that's what I am. But I understand the different categories. And so many men get it wrong. Am I going to say, oh, it's your fault, that's why she did that? No. Because you have some women who lie to themselves and are basically lesbians and marry for the facade. I'm not necessarily talking about that. So you straight out are using that man as a beard. And you have that going on. And you have these women who have, and I said it that way to be slick, has a side chick, because it sounds like, wait a second, that's an eye-catching title. When your wife has a side chick, we never think of it that way. It's the man that has a side chick. And in these unions, this man may have a side chick. And she may not be looking for a man. She might be looking for that softness that you can't understand, that you need to give some time. And it's not, again, it's not sex. It's the softness. It's the letting her lay on your chest and throw one thigh over you and cry on your chest. And you stroke her head and you say, "What's wrong, baby? Talk to me. Tell me what's bothering you. Whatever you tell me, nobody else has to know. It's between you and me. I'm not your enemy. I'm here to love you and I'm here to protect you." Give her that safe haven. See, a lot of men don't do that. And then you have the next woman who may or may not be married, but let's focus on that next woman who is married in a similar situation to a man who doesn't have all the gears in his vehicle. And so you have two women who have needs now. I'm not saying yay or nay. I'm saying what I see. Who gets mad at the weatherman when he tells you it's going to rain? He's only telling you it's going to rain so you can grab that umbrella and keep yourself from getting wet. So I'm not going against or condoning. I'm just down the middle of the road. I'm telling you my experiences, what I've seen, and what is happening out there. Now she meets someone else, another woman, who is in a situation of a marriage or a relationship, and it pretty much to the outside world looks like everything is going well. But she too is not getting the softness, the consideration. Maybe her husband's inconsiderate, but he provides everything, but he just doesn't slow down to say, "Sweetheart, how are you feeling today? What would you like to do this weekend? Would you like to just stay in and sip a little Harvey's Bristol cream and order out and have something brought in? You know, would you like to take a nice ride on Sunday, a scenic route, and we just end up where we end up and grab a room and just zone out?" There's a lot of things that we miss as men. We think, and again, not to be lewd, but it's always about the dick. No. If it's always about the dick, then how come a lot of our sisters are turning to each other for the love and affection that your damn dick can't provide? It's not always about that. Sensitivity, consideration, and letting her be herself. You know, some men don't accept a woman as she is. Many women come into relationships and it's like, well, you know, I love him and he said he loves me, but he's always ragging me because I'm 30 pounds overweight. And I know because the woman may have some emotional issues that cause her to maybe eat a little bit out of comfort. You can't come and say, "Oh, damn, girl, you're getting bigger than ever before. You need to go to the gym and lose weight." That's going to make her pull back. Get to the bottom of it. Look past that. Tell her, even if you put on 300 pounds, sweetheart, I'm going to love you, but I want you not to get that way because I care for your health. But let's talk and find out and investigate. She may not know or she may know, but when you're with somebody as a man, she becomes the one you study to be able to please her more. You both should be students of each other. And maybe she did everything that it takes to please you. And with a lot of us men, it doesn't take much to please us at all. But it's not necessarily the same things that she needs. You know, how do they say it? Men are basic. Keep his stomach full and his balls empty. Well, he may think, well, my stomach is full and my balls are empty, and you ate the food too, so you full, and you took care of me, and I took care of you in the bedroom, so you should be all right. It's not enough. It's not enough. There's so much more. As simple as it may seem, there's so much more to pleasing a woman than just that one thing. Yeah, I'm seeing the comments now. Lamont, thank you so much. Your kind words. I like to talk about things that people don't like to talk about or are uncomfortable. You know, things that I know about. Indigo King in the house. Reese, my dear sister. Yes. Let me see here. Okay. Ain't that something? Right? Okay, let me carry on. I might not glance at the chat room, so anybody else that comes in, I just want to go deep and zone out. So now you have these two young ladies They don't have to be chronologically young. They could be any age, any combination of race, age, ethnicity, doesn't matter. And for some reason, they find themselves around each other. They had a really good time. And they felt a connection, a sisterly connection, a female energy connection that they've been yearning for. And it wasn't necessarily sex at first, right? Or anything sexual at first. But it felt good to have those voids being filled around the person who understands. And they can't wait to hang out again. It's like, listen, girl, we had a good time. When can we hang out again? It's all innocent seeming at first. It's like, well, whenever you want, I'm always here. And see why many of these unions like this go undetected, because in our society, especially in America, you know, I'm going to go hang out with my girlfriend. You think they're going shopping or sitting around watching the TV or doing some hobby. They're making dresses or in the kitchen cooking. Again, it's that sisterly bond that lots of times they missed. Sometimes because of the lack of connection to their mother, other sisters. They might have other sisters, but all your sisters are not going to be like sisters to you. Sometimes family members don't talk, but they always crave that. See? It's like with me, homo business, I'm just saying. My brother was always on drugs. He was 11 years older than me. I always craved a brotherly connection with him. So a lot of my friendships with males, it satisfied me that way. Listen, it ain't going no further than that now. I'm just saying up to that point, I understood that with me. So that's why I take my male friendships very serious. I grew up, aside from me having a brother, I actually grew up as an only child. So I had the tranquility, the peace. I didn't have other brothers and sisters stealing my shirts. What do you do? You wore my shirt. You took my socks. You did this. You did that. But at the same time, I love seeing that in other families because I didn't have that. But I didn't want it. You see? So we have to think about ourselves growing up. The little things that are still the big things as we get older, but we think because we're older now, the little things don't matter, that they still bother us. And many people don't admit that. They don't explore or go back that way because they feel as though they're going to see themselves as being weak. That's a lot of men. But with women, the things that have happened to them, the scars that they caught, they of course they don't forget it. It's ingrained into their emotional and psychological makeup with everything that they do in a day. So when they meet somebody who understands, that's the main thing. You meet somebody who understands. Yes, you might meet a man who understands, but it's not going to be a situation where those voids that you have as a woman for the female energy doesn't mean it's lesbian energy, doesn't mean it's bisexual woman energy. You, after a while being around this next female, find yourself having a stirring in your heart for things that you never thought you'd ever feel. But all the while, the thought of it was never repulsive. Now, how do I know? Again, like I said, I have a lot of experience with women this way. I was with somebody who was into that. They pursued it, but because of their pursuit, I got a chance in a front row seat to understand when these women would talk to us and sometimes talk to me. Lance, let me get a man's point of view. I've known so many women who have had side chicks and explain their thing. And again, it wasn't, even though it ended up being sensuous up to sexual, again, that wasn't the straight goal. Yeah, after a while, it's easier to get into that because now you have a friend. I'm reflecting now. I'm not saying this is me saying it, but through my experience, because you have a friend where you can go there. So if you felt that way, you can get that out the way. The comparison is almost like a man who is with his woman, wife, girlfriend, committed relationship, no matter what the legal, status is. And she knows that he loves her. She knows that he's committed to her. So when they first met, he was very respectful, and he's always been very respectful. But guess what? He can do things now in that relationship that he couldn't do when they first met and first got together. He can walk past in the kitchen and smack her ass and say, damn, that ass looking good. You couldn't do that the first day you met this woman. You see what I mean? But you know the commitment. So that's my boo. It's all right. Yeah, you're right. This ass is yours. You know, you can get it anytime you want. She wouldn't talk to him that way in the beginning. So in these unions, it can look like, y'all are lesbians. Look at y'all. Freaks. Y'all licking each other. It may not even get to the point of that. It may be the embrace. It may be the intimacy. Now, I'm only reflecting. I'm telling you all about something I know. It's not like I'm saying this should be the situation for everybody or whatever. I'm only explaining what I know. I'm not comparing women who are in this situation like mass murderers or criminals like murderers like that. But you have the people who analyze the minds of the mass murderer. They wouldn't dare murder, but they're telling you what the process is and how this person got this way. And by no means our sisters in this situation are murderers, but they are desperate because they're not being fulfilled. Lots of them sometimes knew of their attraction to the opposite sex because the opposite sex reminded them of what they weren't getting as far as the softer energies of a man who can drop his guard, a man who knows he's a man, but he doesn't have to always put on the front of being big and strong and tough and rough and tough. That's a turnoff to most women after a while. A woman, yes, wants to be protected, wants to be secured, wants to know I'm safe with this man. But at the same time, that can't be the only gear that you go in. Okay, we know you make me safe. Show me something else right now. You see what I mean? Let me just check. I see the chat room popping up. Okay. So true. Teach. Thank you, Indigo King. Lazarus said, this is something women don't talk about. And they don't. I've talked with thousands upon thousands upon thousands of women just in my travels. It's always been that way. The jobs that I've had, the things that I've did, you know, the parties I used to throw, the women that I was around, all types of women. I can't hold this in. I have to reflect and tell you what I know, and what I know might not be the full range of what another person knows or another woman has experienced, because I said this is not a one size fits all thing. But men tend to think, oh, you're a lesbian, get away from me. Or they try to use that in their, favor to get the multiple situation thing going on. And they're not even thinking about that. Yeah, Trinity B. So sad how many of our brothers, carry on. And again, it's not just where what they did pushed them into being this. It's a craving. I feel that all women have, no, not to be with another woman, but not to be with a man who's just in one gear. I know Mrs. SCURV grew up in the country, worked hard. Her family wasn't rich. So when she has a chance to go to the department store, and she doesn't do that much now, but back in Orlando, say, okay, why don't you get that dress over there? And she'll say, oh, you think so? I said, yeah, it'll be beautiful on you. But you got to get a matching hat. You got to get some heels to match. And she's like, okay. The little girl in her that didn't have a chance to explore her girliness, which is a righteous thing. Hell, you got men out here celebrating what they think is their girliness, and that ain't right. See? So now she comes home and maybe she brought 2 or 3 outfits and whatever. She said, oh, I want to get that extra bag, but that's above the budget. I said, here, I got it. Where you get that money from? Hey, I've been saving it. Here, get it. You sure? Yeah. Come home and let her go into front of the mirror and doll herself up. Say, sweetheart, when you get that outfit on, you got to come out and model it for me. See, I'm not putting myself up on the pedestal, but I'm saying, how many men do that? And go shopping with their woman and take time, and that looks good. Or be honest too, like that belt around the waist, you already got a slim waist. It brings too much attention. You need to get rid of that belt. Get interested in what they do. They want you to be in their world. They want somebody to be in their world to deal with them that way for the adventure of it all. And a lot of us don't do that. Sister Oyala, with your beautiful self, welcome. I got your message too. I didn't read the whole thing, but I think you switched up the title. I'm going to do those tonight because I fell out last night. I had a whole bunch of stuff, but you know what's coming. Great picture you sent me too. But women, most of our sisters want their man to be in their world on all levels. They want to feel full. It ain't just full of penis. See, that's where we go wrong. Yeah, man, I knocked her back out, man. I took it. Man, come on, man. Is this some kind of aggressive game here? And to add on to that, since we talked about that, why don't you cater to her sometime and stop looking for reciprocation when it comes time in the bedroom? Sweetheart, tonight it's all about you. You've been working hard. I want you to lay back and rest. Just relax and enjoy. Doesn't have to start out with sex. It can start out with a foot massage, a full body massage. Expert oral the way she likes it. Maybe she don't want no penis that night. She might just want to fall out, and then you cuddle her as she drifts off to a beautiful sleep. You gave her a beautiful day. She had a nice outfit, and you say, come on, sweetheart, I got to show you off. They want to be prized. See, we don't do these things for our women. And guess what? It's not hard now that when the opportunity presents itself, and it's not like it's something in their mind to say, oh, I want to go to bed with a woman. It's not even about that. You make me feel this way. You fill my voids. You happen to be a woman and I'm a woman, but your energy, our discussions, the things I relate to and you experienced, so you understand. Men can be insensitive and not want to know. And they can understand. Make me know. Make me understand. I don't know. I want to know you. I want to study you. I want to have a degree in you. Like a college, and you get a degree and you study and you become an expert. I want to be the expert on you. I need to know your social security number. I need to know your foot size. I need to know how much salt or seasoning you need on your pizza. I need to know how much you like to drink. I'm not encouraging that, but, oh, this is what she likes. Sweetheart, it's a little too much. Let's go on home. I need to know. And see, these are little things that another woman in the same situation with an insensitive husband, and it's not just based on the insensitive husband. We can have situations like this where there's no man at all involved, but they find each other as a friend, and they're not gravitating toward the men because the men are just too basic. They just want to see things their way. See what messes up a lot of men? Let me just be funny and say, it's not even a joke. You watch porn. Ain't nobody here never saw porn before. All right? When the man comes, the scene is over. How sick is that? See? Okay, here it is. Johnny Greens, thank you. Thank you so much. Much love and appreciation. Matter of fact, I got some potatoes in front of me and some greens right off the property. I killed half of it. And I'm like, I'm going to snatch a little bite every now and then when nobody knows. But thank you so much. Right? Okay. Let me see. Let me go back up a little bit. Okay, I got those. Miss D, nice. Yeah, right. Women don't discuss this topic. I already hit that one up, but anyway, I just needed to say it again. Lazarus said, Lance, how did you find the right woman for you? Well, it wasn't like I'm going to find, women out there. I'm not going to change the subject, but I'm going to touch on that just for you, right? You have to know yourself. Thank you, Johnny Greens. And I don't put myself up to be like this great man of wisdom because I made a lot of dumbass mistakes. And I guess that's why I know some things, right? When you have a dog in the backyard and, he doesn't have a designated place to go make his poo-poo and you step in shit, you know where not to step, to put that floodlight on. Let me be careful where I'm stepping here. Trial and error, brother. You just, that's how you get your wisdom. Get out there and just put your hands in life and experience it. And after a while, you'll learn. We all do. What about finding the right woman is making yourself a complete man as much as you can, knowing yourself, knowing how you like to live. It's not like you're a person as a man, since you asked me, I'm a man. I'm looking outward. I have to find the right woman. I have to find, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying it that way. I have to find the right woman. I have to find the right woman. But what about you? And if the woman finds you, are you the right man for her? Do you know yourself? Like, see, with me, especially Mr. SCURV, I said, hey, listen, I wasn't into YouTube back then. YouTube was brand new, but I was into the writing and the drawing. And I said, listen, I'm in contact with a lot of people. Let her know who you are. So there's no trial and error from two people who don't know who they are, and they have to find themselves that way. You see? Johnny Greens, once again, much love and appreciation. I'm going to keep putting it down. I really appreciate it. It helps the platform. Brother SCURV ain't a rich man, but this will help me to replace equipment and do different things and programs, and I'm committed to this. I don't think I have to say that to anybody. Y'all know I'm 24/7 unless I'm sleeping or taking care of some other business. You know, thank you so much. Jenny from the block, you just got here. You're going to have to listen to some of this from the beginning to understand it completely, but I know you have the intelligence to just jump right on in like a car merging into the highway with no problem, right? Yeah. But about the whole thing about, yeah, you have to know who you are. If I have a vehicle to sell somebody who's a total stranger to me, and I don't know that the transmission had a little issue, there was a little problem with the engine or the radiator or whatever, how can I tell them that and I don't know? I have to know my vehicle unless I'm lying, which a lot of us lie. We have a representative, meet that person, or we put up our front that way. But it's more of a turn on to a woman when you can tell her your good points and the parts that you have to work on. Many people don't do that. We're at the club shaking our keys to a car we don't own. We know it's a Toyota Corolla that's 20 years old out there. We shaking Mercedes-Benz keychains. No, not everybody. I'm just saying it to illustrate the fact that we don't dig deep, and we have to put ourselves. That's the way you attract a good woman. I'll say not find, but attract. Because some will know, I can't handle this man. He knows himself. I can't bring my baggage, if they have baggage, into this man's life because he is so disciplined. He knows what he's all about. You see what I mean? So when you exude those qualities of what you really are, and you get into the discussion with a woman, and you want to know this woman, that she has to know herself. She has to know herself. You have to get to a certain level of maturity to know yourself. And it's not always going to be perfection. There is no perfect thing out there. In our fantasies, it is. But, when you're in the bed with your woman, you're making love, there's a union of perfection that feels that way. But you know that there's some flaws there that we both need to work on. The beautiful part is that you can help each other work on each other's things. But you have to be honest and know what those things are so you can move forward with the other person. You see what I mean? It's crucial, because if we don't know ourselves, guess what? We're gonna look. It's like going to the shoe store, right? And you don't know your shoe size. You don't know. I mean, you can get measured, but what if those attendants that are there are not paying you no mind? They're busy talking. They're on their phone. You don't know that your foot is a little wider than most, and you get a certain size that's too long, and it looks like you got like scuba diving outfit. The flippers on. You know what I mean? If you know what it is that you're about, if you know the recipe of what you're about to cook when you go into the supermarket or the market, you walk right in there and you get what you need to get. You're not going to go and look for soy sauce when you're making lasagna. You know what I mean? You're not going in there and looking for whatever that doesn't fit what it is that you intend to do. So consider yourself, when you know yourself better, it's like sharpening the sword that cuts through life. If you don't know yourself, that sword is dull and it won't cut through life, and you'll have issues getting through certain situations. But when that sword is very sharp and sharpened, and even in the downtime between relationships, you should be working to make yourself better, because you will attract. And it's not a perfect woman, but that one who will interlock with you best. And don't go on thinking it's going to be this body type or this height or this weight or this. You don't know. There's a dude I know that, he had a certain type in his mind, but it began to fade as he got mature. He ended up with a little person. And I mean a little person, like 4'5". And he used to like, look at you, and you're happy as can be. So if you're thinking dimensions or you're thinking this or thinking that, throw all of that out of the window. Get to know yourself, and you will attract somebody who fits like a glove. That's half of it right there. We have so much in our head. Oh, I would like this and I would like that. Now we know what we have as far as our turn-ons and our preferences. There's nothing wrong with having preferences, but there might be a preference behind the preference that you didn't know about. See, we're fluid. I'm not saying gender fluid. Maybe the two girls here are all right. But I mean, there's so much about us that we need to learn. We're our own universe. Yes, it requires openness, Lazarus. And knowing who you are. Master Glam in the house. I love it. Let me see what Tracy J has to say. The vast majority of people don't know how to heal from one relationship in order to ensure the health and success of the next. Truth, 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 truth. It gets no better than that. You're speaking nothing but the truth. See? Let me see here. Thank you, Lazarus. Thank you for the compliment. Yeah, let me see here. This is a bigger issue than men think it is. Not being intimate enough. It's like men, and again, I'm not shifting it away from the ladies now, but this is a very crucial point when it does deal with the men. And they wonder why they always end up alone or with somebody who is distant to them. Because a lot of our sisters need healing because of things that were done to them. And because they may look perfect. Oh, look at her. Look, she looks this. You don't know what's going on the inside. I'm not saying they're damaged or ruined or anything like that, but help to be the one to heal her. Help to be the one to be her comfort zone. Help to be the one to bring her into a place where she feels safe and loved and protected, and she can speak on anything that may have happened to her or things that she aspires, and don't knock it down. Don't try to categorize it and put it in a box and say, oh, this is just that. Oh, this is just that. No, if it's important to her, it should be important to you. And this is why they're not coming to you for true intimacy, and they find themselves in the arms of a woman. You see? Let me see here. Right. But it was a person who was good for him. But the joke, because he always had this preference. And I'm like, look, and this is between me and him. I didn't say anything in front of her like that. You know what I mean? That's what it was, Oh, thank you. Thank you, Johnny Greens. I mean, I come out here to laugh, and sometimes I'm angry at the system. And, sometimes I'm looking for answers to certain things myself, but I'll speak about something else and get an answer. I don't know everything, but what I know, I'm willing to share. Master Glam in the house. Yes, Sister Oyala. You gave me the answer I've been asking God for. I'm 25 and single without children right now. You're at a great place right now in your life. And there are many people, and I'll tell you, and we'll come back to the other topic, but we'll cook on this a little bit. There's so many people that from when they're 18, 19, 20, they start getting in relationships. And by the time they're 60 and 70, their life has been leapfrogging from one to the other, sometimes two at a time, and it never ends. Like one never ended without the other one beginning. And they say, what the hell did I do? When they look back. Because see, right now, if all goes according to how things usually go, barring anything tragic, and we don't want that, you have more ahead of you than you do behind you. So your thinking cannot be even like mine, who I'm a few weeks short of 60. Not that I'm better than anybody, but I'm there already. I got a whole lot. Look, I can look back on 2 times your life plus some. And a few things I'm like, I don't like that, what I saw from back in 1986. I'll never do that again. I don't like that, what I saw in 1993. I thought it was good, but I'll never do that again. That little mishap that happened in 2002, yeah. Or was it 2003? Oh, when I put out a book, y'all won't believe it. I've been through a lot of sugar honey iced tea. But you have so much to look back on. And so the more wisdom that you accrue as you make your journey, it will keep your sword sharpened so you can cut through situations that a dull blade can't, that one who didn't absorb certain wisdoms can't. And you'll be happy. And you can meet that one, right? And you can date. You can date and figure out the energies of the opposite sex of what you like and don't like. That doesn't mean it's a relationship. That's where we get it wrong, that it just has to be relationship. Oh, I don't see anybody right now. I'm by myself. And you only go out to go into a relationship. No. Take your time and date people that seem as potential mates, but you don't put weight on it. You hang out with them. Nothing heavy. You're not proposing to them after the first date. You check them out. You see the things you like and what you don't like. Okay, and you go home to yourself, you say, even if you have a buddy you talk to, I like that girl. She's very intelligent, great conversation. But she cursed out the waitress because she felt the waitress didn't do a good enough job. She cursed her out. That turned me off. She flipped. I don't know where that came from, but nice girl, but I don't think I'll be dating her again. But you learn something about who you are. See? And many of us go off of wants and looks. Oh, she's good, man. Look at that body she got. Oh, I want to be with her. I want to be with her. You want to be with her? You don't know her. Hell, she probably doesn't even know herself. How are you going to want to be with somebody who doesn't even know themselves? How are you going to want to buy an appliance that doesn't have instructions? How are you going to operate this thing? How are you going to maintain this thing? How are you going to get involved with someone and you're not complete yourself? And we're not going to be complete where we're perfect, but we have to take ourselves for different test drives around different energies, around different people, around different situations that may oftentimes be uncomfortable so we can unearth who we really are by our reaction. See? It's got to be that way. Yeah. At Jamal, that's a huge issue that often comes out of being neglected. So true. Exactly. Preferences change as we mature. The way I was thinking at 20 is not the way I'm thinking at 60. I wasn't a dumb 20 either. I had a lot of sense, but I was a little too lusty for my own good and accommodating. Yes. What happened to genuine platonic friendships, Tracy J? You're right. Why does it always have to be where we're waiting to jump on each other's genitalia? What happened to true love between friends that are of the opposite sex? I still have that love for friends of the opposite sex that I love. It is so stabilizing, actually. When you have platonic relationships, and I'll flip it around to the ladies' side, you have men that you know that genuinely love and care for you, and they're always there for you, and you know they're not waiting around just to jump in the bed with you, and you're dating somebody, and it happens to be maybe a nasty breakup, and you can go to these platonic friends that care about you, who are men, who give you the masculine energy without any strings attached. You will recover faster from that breakup because you have that undergirding energy of real manhood. But the sad part about it is, 90-something% of men, if you're platonic or you think you're platonic, you turn around and say, listen, I'm going to say it in a lewd way and funny, right? Want me to suck your dick? You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, whip out. It's like, oh, man, I thought you were cool with me. You see what I mean? And if you said that, the ones who are really like, listen, sweetheart, you might be a little hot in the drawers right now, but you know I'm your friend and I love you. That ain't gonna happen. Ain't you dating somebody right? You go to them. But thanks for the compliment. You know what I mean? Real like that. Where you're real. I've had platonic friendships where I have laid in a bed with some gorgeous women and nothing happened. That's my word. Beautiful bodies, beautiful face, and we're platonic friends, and they were broke up with somebody, or their mama died. Lance, please come on, I just need somebody to be with me. I don't want to deal with these men trying to get in my drawers. So I'll be over in a little while. Romantic settings, because they needed that. Candles burning, a little wine here, and dressed very comfortable. We're a little too comfortable. I saw too much, but it wasn't about that. They wanted to cry in a man's arms. They wanted somebody to comfort them. That is a true test. Now, all my female friendships weren't that way. I understand that. But I valued those because it gave me hope in myself that when I felt doggish in them years, that I wasn't a dog. I never really was a dog. I tell you straight up what it was. And if you wanted it, we do this, whatever, but that's what it was. There was no tricking here. I'm a trick her into this. I'm gonna tell her I love her. No. Honesty with yourself, with the person. See? Don't lie to them. Give them the real. Let me tell you something. A woman will give you a deeper love over any relationship that they've had if you're truly in a platonic relationship with them and you don't break the rules and you give of yourself. Some people will say, oh, that's simping. They'll say it's simping because there's no pussy involved. Let's just be real. Because some men equate that if I'm going to be cool with you and I'm going to go out with you and I'm going to be your friend, that means you better give me some. So you just some lower vibrational entity that can't see the beauty and the value of a woman. It doesn't have to be, I mean, you talk about the orifice down between the legs, but what about the space between her ears and that orifice of her mouth that will spew forth wisdom that will aid your life? When you're hurting as a man, there is nothing better than that woman who truly, truly loves you. And that will help you to not fall into something that's not real, because you know you have someone who really cares about you. A platonic friendship. I need to talk about those. We need to talk about those for real. You know, yeah, friendships these days are full of just benefits. And yes, you're right, Oyala. But when the benefits are not being shared, oftentimes that relationship dries up. It should be beyond that. I don't care who you FC UKing. If I love you, I love you. If you're my friend, you're my friend. It's not seasonal. Oh, you got that nigga over there with you, man. I can't talk to you. No, I can. I want to show you that this is a lifetime thing. That if I leave before you and you see me in that casket, you'll say to yourself, that was a real friend to me who really loved me. That's what I want to leave. I never really was that guy who wanted to get more notches on the belt, even though I have a whole lot of notches on the belt. That wasn't really about it. When I dealt, I made sure to be caring with it, not just bend over and just, no, that's crazy. That's why many of us have so many voids. You're right, Lazarus. The times have changed drastically. I sometimes look around at this world the way it is, and I'm like, what kind of planet am I on? You're right. Most men don't want female companionship unless it's beneficial to them, aka sex. And look how much they're missing. And again, I was one who, coming up, had a lot of offers and took up them offers sometime. Okay, so it's not like I'm sitting here, no, I never did it. I had a lot of that, but I understood the difference because I had parents that loved each other and gave me an example of what true love was. You see what I mean? That's what it's all about. You're right. Yeah, entities. They're not even people. They look like people, but they're low vibrational entities. Tracy J says to Oyala, friendships are competitive to see who can outdo who. Yes, there's a lot of that. For women, it's to see who can get a man to marry first. Trust me, I've seen that. And it's not just younger folks either. Some older folks out there, I can tell you a lot about that. And it is really ridiculous, all that, Yala. Now, here's somebody from, wait a second. This is some old spam. Let me show you what I get. You know, we're broadcasting on multiple platforms, right? Here's somebody who drops a link. Look what the link in the comment section on Facebook. Now, what the hell? What the heck? Let me see. What is she talking about? I think she's talking about money. Yeah, she's talking about money. Probably some cryptocurrency or something like that. That's crazy. They're going to get deleted. I'm not leaving that there. Because when you get one of those coming in, it's like you get 1 million of those coming in. They just drop links. It's crazy. I get a lot of that. I got to take like 20 minutes a day to clean up some of my social media of stuff that shouldn't be there. It's crazy. Yes, it's we move into adulthood as far as the years are concerned, ill-equipped to deal with adulthood, ill-equipped to deal with who we truly are, because we don't know ourselves. See, we think when we turn 18 or 21, wherever the legal age is for us in the world, in whatever state we're on in the United States or beyond, whatever it is in the world, we think, okay, that's it. No, it's not it. You're not equipped, especially since the brain doesn't mature until what, 25 years old? And here you are 18 with all of your urges, all of your desires and passions that you want to experience, and you want to run out into the world, and you think you're an adult. And the fact of the matter is that adulthood, true adulthood, for some may take longer to arrive. For some, it may be 30 years old. 35 years old. You have a lot of old fools out here with gray hair who are nothing but little boys. But we give them that respect because of their appearance. Excuse me, mister, can I so-and-so? I mean, there have been many men that I've talked to, like in passing. You think you have an intelligent conversation. It might be around the holidays and you're in a big supermarket, Walmart or something, and you got a long line and you waiting. And you're waiting so long it doesn't stay a line no more. You end up kind of standing next to each other. Like one person, yeah, man, this line is long. Yeah, man, how long you been here? I've been here about 20 minutes, man. You need to get somebody else up there to, help with the load. Then somebody funny looking walks by and you say something about them. Hey, man, this world is changing. And yeah, I'm telling you, man. Hey, my name is Lance, man. Charles, how you doing? What part of the town you live in? And you start talking. And then you say something because this person may have gray hair. They may be older than you. And you say something according to how they look, thinking that would be the kind of conversation and exchange that you'd have. You'll be fooled. And you say, well, what do you think about the spiritual decadence in the world today? I had this happen to me. I asked the guy that, this guy looked classy and we don't know each other. I don't know about that, man. I'm trying to get me some ass tonight. I'm like, oh, God, conversation over. You know what I mean? How could you say that? I'm asking you something and you're looking this way, at least front. Old fools. I remember there was a teacher, Miss Frazier, in the High School of Art and Design back in the late 70s that I went to. And there was a guy who was always late to class. And she didn't mind it. She didn't really grill him about it because it was like about a minute, but he was always the last one through the door. To the point where after the last person up to a point came through, she'd wait a minute and point at the door and he'd open it and come in. And she was just like, you just a slave to your loins. Because he was always trying to talk to women in different classes, the young ladies in different classes as they moved about to the next class. He was always trying to get a rap. And that was his thing. But I'll never forget that. You just a slave to your loins. That's a t-shirt. And Reese, probably tomorrow I'll take some time and make some of the t-shirts up. I've been writing down some of these lines. You know what I mean? So let me see. Gifty, how are you doing? You're 1,000% right, Lance. Thank you. On the other hand, nature is not easy to overcome. You're right. Nature is not easy to overcome because, see, we can get involved with a person who, with their imbalances, the mighty parts of them take us over. Their energy takes us over. Their charisma takes us over. But they may have parts of them that are deficient, the parts that they didn't work on, that drag us down, that make us feel down, bring us negativity. And so when you're connected to them, especially when it's a sexual connection, that could be a strong connection. It's not just about the orgasms. That's the beginning. But when you begin to join on to this person, see, people don't understand that when you get with somebody, whatever you're doing, you're joining on to them. At first, it doesn't seem like it's gonna like it's happening, but you're in. You go back for more. You spend time with this person. You're hitched and hooked and tied in. They didn't say it's a soul tie. It's not like a loosely tied lace that you can just walk away from and it falls apart. A tie. When you tied to something, that's some serious business. You ever have like shorts, athletic shorts, it's the summertime, and you have to go to the bathroom real bad, and you realize you tied a knot. And you gotta go, number 2. And you got a knot, I don't care if it pops, pop, because you got to go. See, that time, being tied, is no joke. Because when you realize you got to go out of that relationship and you realize you're tied, it's like, oh, damn, I didn't know I was this far in. You go to the beach and say, I'm just going to go up to my ankles. I'm just going to go up to my knees. And it could be a shallow beach, but you find yourself up to your shoulders, but the shoulder length or the depth is way out. You turn around and say, oh my God, I don't realize I was this far out. And that's the way it works in relationships. We don't know how far in we are. What'd you say, MX Zinga? Oh, that's not 6, it's Mo Zinga. I'm sorry. How you guys in the chat, how do you define real friendships? Like they say, the person who can finish the sentence that you start. The person that knows you in and out, knows your flaws, knows your good points and your bad points. They tolerate those and they have hope in you that you'll get better and they want you to get better. Not this superficial thing where we're friends. These friends of the entertainers, celebrities, we're friends now, only because, it brings more hits when you collaborate with them, whatever. The people who are not ashamed to be with you when you're at your lowest moments. I'm her friend. She might be having a meltdown right now, but I'm not going to abandon her. See you over there across the room. You're supposed to be a friend too, but you making fun of her, and I'm going to remember that, and you're not her friend. Real friends don't do that. You defend your friendship through thick and thin, your connection. You don't reveal their secrets. You keep their secrets secret. You could know all kind of sugar, honey, iced tea about them, but you're not telling because you're a friend. All these other people will jockey around to be around this person if they get some type of status, but you've been there all along and you're not there for that. You see? G. Bowman Jr., much love and appreciation. Thank you so much. Life plus experience plus reality equals acceptance complexities. Yes, indeed. Wow, that's deep. That needs to be on everybody's wall, whether they're there or not, to remind them. See? Wow. Through thick and thin, no matter what. I have some friends in my life that I've been friends with them from back in the 70s. And they've been through some things. They may have revealed some things to me, right? I'm still there with them and I still love them no matter what. It doesn't have to be public where, yes, and the superficial thing. See, I'm his friend. I'm your friend, right? I'm your friend. You don't have to say it. Friends can piss you off, but you're still their friends. Huh? They can piss you off, but you're still their friend. You give your last for them. You want them to be comfortable maybe when you're not. See? I have a friend that was going through a really bad breakup. I'm not going to say his name. He doesn't mind me saying it. I stayed with him. I didn't go home. We were teenagers. He slept on the couch in the front porch and I slept on the floor just so he can see that somebody was there. That's way back. Way back. Over 42 years ago. And his father, who recently was deceased and transitioned last year, told him, he said, see that Lance there? He's a real friend for you. That's all I'll say. Longevity. Even when sometimes life, we got to work overtime. We got to do this. We got to do that. We don't see each other as much, but we keep in contact. But it's that feeling and connection, no matter how far you are away from them, as far as mileage is concerned. See, all the friends I have in New York and all of them on the East Coast, still my friends. We talk every day or throw a message or something, and we don't have to have an explanation. We got jokes, inside jokes between each other, right? That we make little noises because that's the punchline of the joke. And we may just make the noise and keep going. We're like, yo, you crazy, man. I remember exactly what you're talking about. Me and my friend went to the hospital one time. I forgot why we both were in the hospital, but we were there for some reason. It wasn't for him. It wasn't for me. It wasn't, I don't know. I forgot what it was. I had to pick up an envelope or give out something. And we were sitting there for a while. And there was an old white man sitting next to us. And every now and then he'd belt out this noise. Oh! Everybody would look. Who the hell did that? By the time everybody relaxes, oh! I don't know if it was some kind of Tourette syndrome, but he wasn't in pain. We saw who it was. We were cracking up. We were younger and everything, but so the other day I left him a voicemail. Click. Oh! He was like, oh, you crazy. Little things you forget, little things you remember. Being there when you both were crying on the phone and saying, man, it's been a wonderful life. And, you know, we were talking about each other's parents and they're all deceased right now. And we were saying little moments, you know, little moments. I said, man, every time, I never told you, but every time I hear that song from Chic from back in 1977, everybody dance, ooh, clap your hands, clap your hands. I said, every time I hear that song, it reminds me of your mother, and I want to cry. And I remember she was sweeping in your living room, in your dining room, and she was humming this under her breath, and it stuck with me. Being over your house, I felt like I was home. The little things I remember. And he was like, yeah, she loved that song. I said, I told you. Remember the time I did the green leaf around your table, the edge, and it had to be straight? And I said, yeah, my mother loved how you did that. Your hand was so steady. That's when you know you got a connection. It's the little things. This is not no production for the world. The embarrassing things. You know how many embarrassing things my friends know about me? And I have no problem with them telling it. One day I'm going to have an embarrassing things LANCESCURV show, all things embarrassing. I'm going to have my friends come on there and tell it. I ain't got no problem with that. I ain't got no problem with that. The time I was in Times Square and I didn't have a bathroom. I couldn't find a bathroom, man. I had to go both ways. It hit me. Gotta go now. I was walking through this open parking lot and ducked between two cars and squatted. Thank God I always keep paper with me. Did my thing. Oh God, I was so relieved. I'm sorry, I did it between two cars. I got up and walked up out of there, and there was a little white man walking up to me, and he saw me come from between the cars, and he looked between the cars, and I'm not gonna censor it. He's like, hey, there's always somebody busting you. Hey, get back over here. And I felt it all up and down my back like I get to get out of here. And I didn't know he was going to say it. Hey, he was calling for the attendant. That man over there is shit in here. I'm like, oh, man, I turned the corner. I broke up running. And there was a cop that was like hearing it. And I'm like, I got around the corner. I was out. I had to go. Embarrassing. I'm not here to tell shit stories, so we all have them. We just don't tell them. I don't give a damn. I'm loving this part of my life and being free and open to be able to say what I want to say. I remember I was on 46th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue, and there was some construction going on, and I had to go. I was trying to go in this restaurant, and they wouldn't let, oh, it's only for customers only. I said, well, listen, I'll be a customer. Just let me use the bathroom. I'll order something. They said, no, no, no. I was like, here come that sound again. Like that old song, here comes that sound. Here comes that sound again and again, again and again, again and again. That hit me. I looked around. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? There was a dumpster right in front of me, a real tall one. I had to jump to grab onto the edge of it and swing my leg over and get in the dumpster. And I dropped in there. There was like 2x4s with nails and sheetrock. And I was like, I didn't care. I went to work and relieve myself. And of course, I had some toilet paper. Just enough. Well, that newspaper over there had to suffice too. And I sat there for a while I heard the traffic around me. And I'm like, I remember what year it was too. It was 1981. All of a sudden, a paper cup hit me in the head. I said, somebody must have threw it in here not knowing nobody's in here. Then all of a sudden, a straw, another paper cup, a styrofoam cup, all these cups and different things. Somebody had balled up paper and threw. I said, where's this stuff coming from? I looked up. It was a whole office building, one whole floor, looking at me and started clapping. Hey! I was like, oh my God, I had to get up out of there. And they were yelling, screaming, laughing at me going down the street. Who tells stories like that? And for me to come out of that dumpster, that was a trip. People like, this guy come out the dumpster for? I had like, the sheetrock has like the little like chalk in the middle of it. My pants, everything was messed up just with chalk, y'all. I go with precision. I can do drive-bys, trust me. Hit you right in the eye. But anyway, too much information, long story short. We got to always have a little humor in the shows. I don't mind telling my stuff. I see everybody laughing. I don't mind. If I can get you to laugh, I'll tell all my dirt. Master Glam is hollering. That's what it's all about. But yeah, a lot of brothers don't even know that their wives have a side chick. And they may be thinking, I got a side chick. See, she don't do it for me. So I got somebody on the side who does it for me. Well, brother, you may be surprised that she has somebody on the side too, and it ain't no man. How do you whip that? Because a lot of guys think, well, you with a woman, why don't you bring her on over and hang out over here? It ain't like that. She don't want you with her. She wants her for what she gives her. Not this masculinized, over testosteronized manhood thing. We know you're a man. Does every Lamborghini have to bust going over 100 miles an hour on the local road to show that it's a Lamborghini? No. Real men know their strength in many ways. The beautiful part about it is when you can deal on a gentle level. There's nothing like a strong man, physically, mentally, emotional, spiritual, that can be gentle. With all his strength, he can be gentle. Look how gentle King Kong was when he was holding up that white woman. I just wish our brothers would hold our sisters just like that, King Kong did, which was supposed to be a black man, insinuated. But as big and strong as he was, just in that one aspect alone, he held her gentle. And it's not just a matter of the physical holding. I'm telling you, it's the understanding. And if you don't understand, please tell me. I want to know. Show that gear, that you have many gears on your vehicle, your emotional vehicle, your spiritual vehicle, your mental vehicle, that you can accommodate her and draw out of her what needs to come out and give her what she needs. You ever hear the term emotional affairs? There's a lot of that going on across all kinds of combinations. And it's happening. And people think, well, there's physical going on. That could be worse. Worse for the one who doesn't know. Because look what you're not doing. Some people don't want to do it. Some people don't want to get into it that way. If you can't get into it that way, how are you going to deprive somebody of the fulfillment? And when I say fulfillment, people just think sex. No, you can have sex with somebody all day long, pop out a whole bunch of babies, be with them together for years, and you don't even know them. How about that? Because you think you know every inch of her body. You know nothing about her. You have not even touched her in a deep manner. But the one she has as her friend, who might be another female, will get all up in her. I'm saying it that way. We're not talking about fingers and dildos. Will get all up in her mind, all up in her soul. Captivate her with the fact that you can understand what I've been feeling all these years and nobody has touched me that way. It may not even be where they're kissing or 69 or putting each other's clits in their mouth. It don't have to go that far. But it's an emotional affair. It could be that. And it can go that far. Because even the way they may I say it, make love. So gentle, so loving, so emotional. You got this dude at home, come here, girl, that ass looking good, and want to bang you from behind. And you sitting there feeling like an old bag of shake and baked chicken, up and down, up and down. And when he's done, rolls over, don't even want to hold you. And you feel like a sperm receptacle. Fellas, we got to wake up. This is not all. We have some brothers out here who are really attached. But it's not about what you can get. Like I said, it's crazy when I mentioned about watching porn and the scene is over when the man comes. And this enforces this thing in our young men when they see that. I'm done. Do you eat 2 bites of your favorite meal and just push the plate away? No. You get into it. You don't want to rush it. You want every bite, even the dessert. You want to sit there for a while. You don't just get up. Okay, that's your last bite. Get up and go. You want to sit there and just let it go down. Women want to be held, but held genuinely when there's a real connection. And I just think that, I'm not saying it's sad from the fact that, no, because I'm a traditionalist, one man, one woman thing, but, I mean, it's sad that these men aren't doing what they're supposed to do. And it's not just about what the men are not doing, granted. But it's a shame that many of us miss out on so much with our women. I've talked to women and we've had some deep conversations that it was not phone sex, but it was orgasmic. It's like, wow, you understand. Wow, you understand me in that aspect. We're missing out on so much. And this is why we leapfrog from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. Because it's only skin deep or just barely below the surface. And by the time we don't feel something right away, we don't take time to get to know each other. We don't, like I said, how are we going to get to know each other when we don't know ourselves? How? Girl, how could you do this to me? I gave you everything. I dick you down every night. I even lick you. Why you going, this woman ain't got no dick? Well, you ain't got no damn compassion. You don't have no damn sensitivity. See? Whether you as a woman would find yourself with another woman, you got to understand what I'm saying. See, a lot of people saw this title and said, okay, let's see what he's going to talk about now. But you got to word it a certain way and sometimes come a different way where it's, oh, damn, I like what he's talking about, but it's a little different. Some little 18-year-old little gangster rapper dude, I'm going to check this out, man, when your wife has a side chick. He ain't going to listen to this but for 2 minutes before he's out. He don't want to hear about no sensitivity. Man, I want to see some 2 chicks 69 and man, I want to get busy with them. Because you're thinking that way. That's your maturity level. And again, there are much younger people that are mature also. But I can understand this. I've seen it in that relationship where my woman was into the women and a lot of them came and confessed things and I was privy to. That was a very unique learning experience for me. It was nothing I thought I'd get into. When you asked me if I was like 18 years old, really? Yeah. I was into her. But you know what? What the real deal was with the deception in that relationship? That she couldn't admit to me that she was really more into the woman than I was the beard. You know what I mean? Toward the end, I realized that. But I still learned a lot and gained a lot of tremendous insight from that union in areas that most men do not have a proximity to. You know? That's terrible, Reese, but that is the worst feeling. Oh my God, that is like, that's an extended torture in your heart. And especially if you reach out to them to show them, it is not sex, but the physical. I want to rub your head. I want to look at you. I want to kiss you on your forehead. I want to put your head on my chest and make you feel safe. I want to feel the warmth of you on me. I want to be laying there and feel you come over to me and climb on me. That's more important to me than just a damn blowjob. I've had women do that to me and they did their skills excellent, but it didn't feel like nothing because there was nothing damn behind it. You see what I mean? Yeah, it's like death. Where is this person? They're right next to you physically, and they never. You're crying and bleeding on the inside when you have a situation like that. I've been in those situations too. Because really, that's what I was looking for anyway. Deep down, in my life. And when you can't get that, you'd rather a hug or real affection. It doesn't always have to be physical, but you want to feel that. More so than any other thing that results in an orgasm. You can only enjoy that really when you have the other. And if you don't have the other, you don't want that. And some dudes, man, SCURV, you lying, man. You lying out your head. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Just because I had a lot of that early in my life and people saw that didn't mean that that was the very thing that I wanted. Because really deep down, I was looking for love. See? And my wiring was that if I can do that and make you feel good, maybe you'll love me. See? I know myself now, and I know myself back then at 32, at 16, at 44. You know what I mean? I know myself. I'm a deep thinker, and I'm always aware of where my little blip is on the radar screen. Do we all know this? I'm not saying I know everything, because we discover little things about ourselves every single day. You see? So it's that meditation. It doesn't mean you're turning your hands up, 3 fingers out, and your finger to the thumb, and Nam Re Ho Ho Renge Kyo, or whatever it is you want to say or think. You could be on a crowded subway train, a crowded bus, a crowded supermarket in the line, people bumping into you, and be in a deep state of meditation to learn yourself. Looking back on things you've been through. Going back to the little child that you were, whether it's single-digit ages or a teenager, and talking to yourself. That embarrassing moment, or that moment that hurts you so much in your mind, like a movie. Picture yourself at that time in your life, and you go back into that time as an adult version of you, and the little version of you knows that that's the adult version, saying, hey, Lance, I know you're 17 years old right now, and this hurt really a whole lot. But I'm the one who's almost 60, and I know you better than you know yourself, because I had to go through my whole life with you. And I'm telling you, this is what you should do. And you need to understand that this is the real deal. I would never lie to you, because I had to go through that pain. So maybe if I can go back in time and tell you, you won't have to go through it. Go through those motions and help to heal yourself, which requires self-love. When you look at my picture, no matter what picture I take, you see some pain in them eyes. Pain. I was raised up in a beautiful household at that time of my life. It's only when I got out into the world that I realized the world wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. As a trusting, loving person. Oh, I knew the tricks. I knew the streets. I knew all that. But with interpersonal relationships, that's when I caught my most pain in relationships. Flings were nothing. You know what I mean? That didn't hurt me. But the times I got serious and got into things, and it hurt, it hurt, it hurt. There's things that I look at now, look back on my life, I still hurt. I'm like carrying it with me. I'm like, God, dog, how could I have gone through that and survived? Used and abused and put in situations, and you find that the person's just using you. They're not loving you. And all the other women, oh man, you're so handsome. Oh, you're so fine. Whatever, whatever. And the one you're trying to love don't give a damn about you. You see what I mean? It's weird. It's always that way. Many of my people that I know, they say, man, I don't know how you got through this part of your life or these parts of your life without being insane. You should have been crazy from 22. You should have been in a nut house from 25. And I said, yes, that was a lot to my own doing. You know what I mean? There's things I should have been doing with all those women, but it wasn't just that. So we got to really go dig deep and understand what it is, why we do the things that we do. Because when it comes to matters of the heart, you just can't ignore things. You walk with this pain. What do we do most of the time when somebody says, how are you today? Oh, I'm fine. But you feel like you're being stabbed in your heart, but you just can't open up, because we don't usually do that. And we have people that we can't really open up to. So when you have a friend who can be that person and be that safe haven. Again, for many wives and women out here, it's another woman. And that's the fact of the matter. And a lot of times nothing's going to stop that. Am I knocking or condoning? I'm neutral. I'm just telling you like it is. Like I said, the weatherman will tell you it's going to rain. You get mad at the weatherman when you ignore him, but he told you. So I'm telling you, it's going to keep on happening because we have needs. It's just like what they say these days. When you have a woman who has this extreme masculine energy and disrespects a man and steps all over to his toes, puts him down. When you have somebody or find somebody that respects you and truly concerned about you, and I'm talking as a man now, it's really innocent. They're not scheming to get your man, or he's not running around her just to get up in her drawers, but it's like, man, this feels so good. And you find yourself around her. And the woman you have is just, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being career orientated. No, it's good. Be all you can be. But don't get caught up in that masculine corporate energy or something out in the world, or because something happened to you in the past that now the good guy that's around you, you punish him. You let out all that venom on him. And it doesn't take much for a man to be happy. So the world will say, oh, I saw him slipping over that woman's house. It may be just to sit around the table, eat a little meal, or watch a little TV and just talk about your problems. I know it looks that way, but you know what? There's a lot of women out here who have that bad masculine energy, that toxic energy, that are chasing their man away to the arms of another woman. Just the same way men who are inconsiderate will chase their woman away into the arms of another woman. See the correlation? In one sense, we say, oh yeah, he's cheating, he's a cheater. And the other one, oh, she a lesbian. She may not be. She may not have had to go that far. If you did right by her, maybe she could be a lesbian. Who knows? It's possible. Maybe she's really into women. I'm not saying it's always because what a man's not doing. Don't get me wrong. But we all have the right to be fulfilled. Hopefully it can be in a way that is in alignment with what the Most High wants. See? We're going to drink if we're thirsty. We're going to eat if we're hungry. We're going to take a dump, like I've in my two earlier expressions of how I had to run to the bathroom. Ain't nothing going to stop it, baby. Ain't nothing going to stop it. So we need to stop labeling people and try to figure out what the reason is and try to correct certain things. But get to know yourself and hone yourself, perfect yourself. No, you're not going to be perfect. I said perfect. Strive for perfection, knowing that you're not ever going to be perfect. But you can get better in some area of your life. At some point, you can get better. How can I get better? We got categories. How can I get better spiritually? How can I get better mentally? How can I get better physically? How can I get better emotionally? And we should not focus on one more than the other and try to be well-rounded, get information and learn things to improve our conversation. Sure, we may not know everything about every area of expertise, but know a little bit about something to make you attractive, that when you meet somebody who may be in a certain area, you know a little bit about it, and then she gets to know, or he gets to know, the real you on the inside. I know a doctor that's so high placed, making a lot of money, 300,000-400,000, whatever a year. And she's married to a mechanic, a local mechanic. They've been together for so long. And there are men on her job, on her where she works, in the clinics and the hospitals, that make so much money. She doesn't pay them any mind. Because that little oily, dusty mechanic that comes home with the soiled uniform, she's so glad to see him. She's the first one snatching him out of that uniform, to wash that uniform, to wash him down, to do the obvious, out of love. And he makes good money, but it's in a different way, and it's not the money she makes. But she doesn't put him down. She goes to him for wisdom, that he has a lot of vast wisdom. You can't assess a person or person's wisdom on what they do in life. You don't know what experiences they've had. You don't know what they can tell you. You don't know what they can see. We don't know. And lots of times we cut off blessings that are coming to us in the form of a person who can help to guide us because they want to, because they see the good in us, even though the world may say the bad parts of us. I see a blank piece of paper. I can see a finished drawing because I'm an artist. I see a person and I can see past what they show the world, and I can see the pain and the love and the affection inside of them, or how beautiful they are. Even if they're not as pretty as Sister Oyala, they could be somebody who would never be on the cover of a magazine, but I can still see the beauty in that person. You see what I mean? I met a brother, and this ain't no homo business, never that. I met a brother back in 1998. And this brother was addicted to crack, and he beat it. He beat it for about 18 to 20 years and fell back into it and beat it again, but he beat it. And this guy was in major magazines, Jet and Ebony, from back in the 70s, because he's a little older than me, of his potential that he showed in school, and he had been interviewed in these magazines, and he had the magazines. I couldn't believe it. A little heavy set. We worked a job. It was a part-time menial job after the main job. It's a hangout job in a law firm in the mailroom. A friend of mine was going. He's like, man, we just go there and hang out. Come on, man, we want you there. I said, all right, no problem. So I met this brother who was a former crack addict, and he had these degrees. And one day, some of the people up in the admin came down, 3 of them. We'd like to speak with you. I'm not going to say his name. We'd like to speak with you. And we'll be waiting for you up in the admin, whatever. Everybody was like, oh man, what happened? Did anything happen? Did you do anything? It's like he got in trouble or something, you know? And he went up there and he couldn't believe it. They said, you should have told us your background. You should have told us. We looked over your resume, but somebody didn't look at it in detail because it's a little mail sorting gig after work. We just needed people for the overflow in the mail that we're dealing with in these various cases that we have. But somebody brought it to my attention. Your resume, look at this. Why are you working down there? Why didn't you tell us? Let me tell you something. I saw this with my own eyes. They took him from down there. The next day, he was upstairs with them, making over 6 figures. A former crackhead. And he told them. He said, listen, did you see the gap of a few years in my resume? I have to tell you, everything. That's well and good that you're making me this offer, but for many years I was addicted to crack. I don't want that to come up and to lose this position. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I've been clean for about maybe 15 years. Never went back, but it taught me a whole lot. I was homeless, living in the streets. I could tell you 76 ways to fold over a hefty bag while you're laying in the snow to keep warm. That was one of his jokes. He had a weird sense of humor. He says, if you don't want me, I was honest with you. But I have to be honest. Right now, integrity and loyalty and being honest is more important to me than money. And they said, listen, we love your honesty, but we want to see you here tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We're going to train you. And he was handling millions and millions of dollars, and not a penny disappeared in the years that he was there. See? I know him personally. He's very private. I don't speak to him every day, but we talk to each other every now and then because he's very busy. But I would like to get him on the show live and talk to you. There's a lot of people, man, but a lot of them are just like, no, Lance, you know, and it's their right. It's their right. I'm telling you 2 different ways I got caught out in the street and I had to take a dump, right? That's the way I am. But for some people, it's a privacy thing. He told me, don't mention my name, but you can kind of tell my story. And there's more to it than that. And many of us don't work on ourselves. He's a man who worked on himself. He says he worked on himself when he's laying out in Central Park in blizzard temperatures, freezing, even though he had stuff. And he's like, how did my life get here? What did I do? He had to have accountability for himself. And he did. And he was born again, not no churchified way, but he was reborn in the depths of what he had to suffer through because of what his addiction was. Many of us are, and we don't understand that sometimes when we fall, that's the reason why, because we're being reinvented or manifested from inside, the great seeds of wisdom that we have and seeds of greatness. I talk about the seeds of greatness. It's not from no preacher. That's what I say. Maybe somebody says it a little different. But I've had my low moments where the greatness came out at that moment, even though the world didn't see it. Look, you have a woman who might be 400 pounds and a little overweight and maybe even morbidly obese. But the minute that she decides to clean her diet up and to clean up her activities of doing nothing physically and go to the gym on a regular basis, not killing yourself, she is then healed. She is then slim. She is then beautiful. Not that she's not beautiful as she is, but, more healthy. The minute you make up your mind, you are that. Now you have to go through the motions of manifesting it. So if I say I'm going to do something today or I'm going to do this show tomorrow, I knew early what the show was going to be about, but I had so much that the time just flew, and I'm going to be up tonight doing and working on some more content. But the minute you make up your mind to be that, you are that. Just don't give up on being that. You can be anything you want. And if you want to develop yourself to be that full person that you're supposed to be, because we're on this earth to learn lessons, whether it be a relationship to the system that created us or ourselves, because we better know ourselves before we transition, because that's going to be painful. You mean, Negro, you had all them years on this earth and you don't know yourself that way? Tell me who you are. Tell me your flaws. Tell me what you think, your great points. Tell me this. I could tell you what I was before, and I could tell you I ain't going to blast all that out. I got no problem with it. I'm at ease with myself. So I can say the things that I want to say, and I want to be more at ease. I want to know myself better. Why did I do that back in 1984? Why did I do that in 2011? Why did I do that in 2007? I should have known better. See? And these years are flying by. It really, what? You better know yourself. Huh. Wow, let me see a few of these comments here. Pink poll questions why successful Black women can't find men. What's a pink poll question? I mean, I'll just take off the rest of it. Why successful Black women can't find men? There are men out there. I'm not going to blame the woman that she's successful so she can't find good Black men, but there are a lot of other women who may not be successful in a way according to the corporate world standards that have Black men. You know what I mean? Some don't. Again, it goes to who you are on the inside, what you attract. I got no problem with successful Black women. A lot of men do. I don't feel intimidated. I don't feel it's a challenge that I have to go and challenge a woman. No, I'm neutral. I'm cool. We can talk. I've dealt with in my lifetime very successful Black women making lots of money. I never tried to get a dime out of them. I never had to try to prove that I'm better. Nothing. We relating. See, because I know that trick. I know it's not a trick. Just like them two ladies kissing, I got to know who they were. And she was attracted to me because I understood what she went through in a white male dominated world. Man, how you get that, man? That lady driving that drop top, man. How you get with that? And I'm the one who broke it off. I don't think this can work out. I don't think we're compatible in certain ways, but I still love you. And she couldn't believe it. I make all this money. I have property that can stare over the river for miles. You never have to worry about money with me. I said, I don't worry about money no way, even though I don't make as much as you. But you need to take the time to grow a little bit more on the inside and know who you are. People call me a fool. Man, you would have had a set. No, I would have been miserable if she didn't do that. So we got to stop looking at the superficial stuff in the world and deal with the real, because this life has a way of coming around with some balance. You can't force it. You can't trick it. You can't slick it. Be the real thing. But you got to be real with yourself to be the real thing. You see? You can't lie to yourself. You can't lie to yourself and be the real thing. Tracy J says, I wish I had a man around to chase away. Some women don't know what a good, healthy man looks like until later in life. That's so true. That's so true. That's so true, and it's sad. And I would never say that it's too late, but they'll look back and realize that they chased some good men away. These men weren't perfect, but they would have made darn good husbands and providers and lovers and friends and all of this stuff. It's a beautiful thing where you can say, remember well back when we did this? It's a beautiful thing where you can have a photo album and see pictures of the both of you looking much younger. Think about these things. And I'm telling you, life, the time on one end goes by quick, and on the other side, it can go by deliciously slower, where you can enjoy every minute of the day. And it doesn't mean your life is going to be perfect. It doesn't mean you're not going to have spats. But to go through life, it's a beautiful thing to see. And this society doesn't lean toward those things. As a matter of fact, there's so many factors in the present society that look to tear those unions down. Go after them and tear them down. It was so much easier back then. Even the songs on the radio were love songs. It wasn't anything else but love songs, especially back in the 70s. Now it's all kind of stuff out there to mess up our minds. See? But whatever it is we need, we'll find it. It may not be in the form that we thought. And the hunger can get so deep, we may be involved in something very much unorthodox, but yet very common under the cover if you really knew. And I was very privy to seeing things and talking to people who are in situations that are illustrated on this banner. And I got a deep understanding as to why. And it taught me a lot of what I should be as a man to be able to provide that, to be multifaceted, to not be a one-way Charlie, to have discipline when it comes time for sex and let that happen when she wants it. She'll accommodate you, but if she's not feeling good, don't push that on her. It'll be there. Wait a day or two. It'll be better when it happens. But take care of her in many ways. Yes, sexually, but the sensitive things. I've said that this whole show in many ways, and like I said, I'm not going to get repetitious all over again. And if anybody wants me to go deeper on this topic, I will. I'm always ready to go, like, what's behind this that I can talk about? It's never like just on the surface. Let's say, we talked about that. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. Sometimes I keep it shallow and comedic and make you laugh, but sometimes we got to go deep. And I'm really interested in this phase of my life after learning as much as I have and seeing as much as I have. See, sometimes okay, like I said, you're not going to come onto the show and all of a sudden I say, okay, I talk too much. Somebody told me I talk too much. So the LANCESCURV show today, I'm going to be quiet. You hear nothing but silence. You'll be out of here. There's something else on YouTube I can watch. I don't need to hear this guy be quiet. You come over here because I talk, but I'm very honest. You can feel that. You can feel the genuine feeling. I'm not trying to sell some fraudulent thing to you. There was no script with this. I did not know what I was going to say when this show started. I knew this was what I wanted to talk about. I had no clue. Of course, I kind of went off the topic a little bit for those who just came in, but you go back and listen to the beginning. I went right in. And I think you all understand that. And not like you didn't. Maybe you didn't think about this, but now if you didn't, maybe you have a little more insight into things. And people write me and talk to me and teach me things. I don't know everything, you know? Let me see what 90s babies, at least these women aren't spreading HIV or AIDS, like the down low men. There's less incidence of that with the women, but it can happen, but it's less incidence of that because, there you go. Lesbians don't play with feces. Hey, they may not play with feces, but I've seen with my own eyes them visit certain orifices where, you know, where the train came through about an hour or two before, you know. Okay, you know, I mean, I'll touch on it. I mean, is that something that we can do a whole 2 hours plus on? Then we'll do it. I'll mention it. I'll tie it into something else, you know. The quiet show at less. Imagine that. That can never happen because I ain't never quiet. Next time somebody says in the comment section, man, you talk too much. Well, dang, what you want me like to be all slow and not share my real thoughts and have it measured out with bulleted points, all boring and whatnot? Well, on the next point, I'd like to express that with this situation. So, no, you'll be out of here. Up here sounding like Alfred Hitchcock. Dum, 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 dum. That's funny though, the quiet show with LANCESCURV. Now, if we're taking a walk through a garden or through nature, I'll be like, no, let's absorb this. Let me hold your hand. Let's walk and be quiet and just absorb. Then that'll be the quiet show. But guess what? After that is over, I'll have a lot to talk about. I'll be like, you know what hit me in my thoughts when we were walking through the woods? That's what it is. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it down soon. Anybody want to say anything? Anybody want to join in to say anything? I could drop the link if you want, for a hot minute. If you want to say anything, let me know. I'll always extend that. I don't feel like hooking the phone up. Let me see what 90s baby said. The Jekyll and Hyde type of lifestyle is sad, but this is pretty common. Yeah, that's a good for a title, the Jekyll and Hyde lifestyle. But I would frame it in a more relentless way, just from the mere fact that we said Jekyll and Hyde. Because with this, the way I'm framing this imagery here, it could be, but the way I'm framing it is one who hasn't had their emotional needs fulfilled and with an inconsiderate mate, and they feel an attraction to somebody who understands, and it ends up like this. See what I mean? So that's not every time you see two women kissing, that's what it is. There's some chicks I know, Lance, man, we got to hang out, man, because you always pull the chicks. I want to be right there because, if you pull 10 of them, I know 2 of them I can get. I'm like, what? Yo, Lance, know what I'm saying? This is a chick, right? A big butch. Yo, know what I'm saying? Damn, look at that girl ass. So one girl told me, she's like, man, shoot, I get that. I'm going to be all up in that. I'm like, yo, with what? It better be something you purchased. I can tell you some funny stories. When I was living that lifestyle with all these women, there was a gay girl who lived across the street. She's like, damn, man, what's up with you? Your girl be letting you have all them girls around. I saw 3 honeys coming out your house early in the morning, man. I knew they spent the night because I sat by the window. Oh, damn, why'd you hook me up? I'm like, oh, man. That's when I called Dykely back in the days. That's a nickname I had for like Muttley or for wacky races. Dykely. She swore she was a here we go. I had theme songs for her. You see her walking down the street. She passed away. She had an overdose. She was a really bad heroin addict, and she kind of went back into it, and it was bad. But I had fun with her. We had fun. I accepted her for who she is. You know what I mean? 90s people said you should really dig into human sexuality. You guys, heterosexuality is the norm. Humans aren't labels. No. Heterosexuality is the norm. Humans aren't labels. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to do that on where I can really go in deep without worrying about being censored on Patreon with just audio. I haven't started it yet. I haven't done anything on Patreon for a long time, but I want to do it on a regular basis. I need your opinion on that though, because I've been speaking about this. Okay. What you say, like, why do they always seem to want straight women? It's the same way gay dudes always want to have straight men, something untouched. Like, a lot of them don't want to deal with a dude who's been with another man already. A lot of the women don't want, the ones who are really in it like that, where I'm into women type thing. We're not talking about, some are married who are like that, right? But not the description that I had today, because there's so many different facets of human sexuality and why we do the things that we do. But there are some now. There's some married women where the man knows, like, she likes chicks, man. She and they'll say it. She likes some pussy too. We eat pussy together, whatever. Now, see, when I talk like this is not a YouTube thing. I got to put it on something else that won't censor me, you know? I've known couples like this where they'll have their woman go out to go pick up another woman, go to a gay club and meet other women, but they'll let them know, listen, I got a man. And it may be where they're not trying to bring the other woman home to be with the man. It's like, listen, I got another man, but we're not looking for a threesome. This is the worlds I've traveled that I want to share. And a lot of lesbian women don't like a bisexual woman. Oh, they can't make up their mind. Blah, 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 blah. Then you have lesbians who see situations, open situations like that, and want to take the woman. Like, I'm going to snatch up from that man. You know, I ain't having my woman shared out like that, but I'm going to get her. All different kind of mentalities. So it's not a one size fits all thing. You see what I mean? So, oh, you said what now? You're in Sweden. You don't know your culture. Okay, you're saying I don't know my culture. You don't know my culture, because I'm open-minded, where I can see the different perspectives of people. But I'm not open-minded where I'm gonna do a little bit of anything. You know what I mean? I try to see where I can understand, like make me understand. Like you're standing there, I'm standing here. You're doing this or something I won't do, but make me understand on a psychological level from where you came from. How did it make me understand? Where did this begin? You see what I mean? Like that, you know. But yeah, Tracy J, it's they want to know. It's like a dude who wants a virgin. Like, ain't nobody been with this except me, right? So they always want, like, even if the woman who wants a woman goes after a woman who has a man, that don't bother them as much. They want to be that first woman. They want to be the one to give them that experience and turn them out. Just like them gay dudes. They love married men. Some of them gay dudes. They see, because enough hit on me in my life. Undercover. I didn't even know. Like, yo, man, I ain't with that. You know, they act all right for a while, and all of a sudden little red flags start popping up. You know what I mean? It doesn't take long to connect the dots. It's like, man, I'm not with that. And what made it more attractive to them is because you're married or you're with somebody, or we see you as a super straight male, which I am. But I speak with everybody and try to understand where you're coming from. And I'm not, what they say, I'm not homophobic like that. It's not, I don't even like that word. How am I going to be scared of you because you're doing something? I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of much things. I'm not Superman, but you know, I'm not scared. No. And because I'm not, they think, oh, I have a chance because he talks to me. I'm not running them down like that. You ain't gonna see me coming out 3 o'clock in the morning, pulling my zipper up. I don't know, house full of gay dudes like that. That's suspect. Ain't gonna happen. You know? Oh, okay. Let me see. Okay, you don't know the culture. You don't have stud and okay. You don't have those the studs and femmes. Right. In America, there's a lot of that going on. And again, with the women who I've seen a lot of very effeminate. Here, check this out. I've known a lot of effeminate studs that you can't tell. And I'm gonna leave it on this note here. We'll talk about this maybe tomorrow night. We'll keep it going. But I've known a lot of women who are very feminine, wearing dresses and all this stuff and the perfume and the makeup, and real feminine in their mannerisms. But when they get behind closed doors, they're the stud. And they don't turn into a masculine looking thing, but they are the aggressive one. They're the dominant one in the bedroom, and they're studs. But you would know. And I've known studs, real studs. And I'll end it on this note. Why did this song come to my mind? I don't want no stud. A stud is... I have known studs, 2 handfuls of them in my lifetime, who enjoyed my company a little too much. And I'm not expecting anything. Like, come on, we got to hang, man. So I've hung out with a lot of studs. Walking on through Greenwich Village, hanging out, eating, joking. They're funny, some of them jokes, and we're having fun. We know that there's nothing going to happen because you're a stud. And they let you know, not all of them, let you know, listen, I love me some pussy. I love me some women. But, every now and then, sister got to recalibrate. So what's up? I'm like, whoa, hold on now. They don't all say it like that. But that's pretty much the gist of it. Recalibrate. What are you saying? Like tuned up? Yep. to factory specifications. I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly what you're saying. And I'm like, but you carry it. In my mind, I'm like, you ain't carrying yourself looking too appetizing. There'll be studs and really keep themselves together, but they dress like a dude. I'm like, that's not what's turning me on. Listen, you say that don't turn you on, but swing by tomorrow night by 11 p.m. tomorrow night. I just want you to see me. And I've gone, and the door opens, and I'm like, oh my God, look at her. She said, you can turn around and walk away. You can come and spend the evening with me. I'm like, don't close that door. Here I come. Serious, crazy. And I knew one who nobody knew that she was kind of a stud. I say kind of a stud, because if I knew something was up, that's why we were talking cool. I'm like, listen, you don't fool me. Me and you are cool, but you don't fool me. Me and you like the same thing, don't we? Oh, damn, Lance, how'd you know that? I said, I know. Been around it enough. It's our secret. She opened up to me. And she was turned on to me, but we never did anything. See, I know all these different ranges, right? She'd call me sometime. Hello, Lance. Hey, what's up? I want you to take your dick out. What? I want you to stroke your dick for me. I'm over here doing it. You know what I want to think about? Me and you with another woman, but I want you to do her in front of me. Just for me. I'm like, whoa, you coming with some heavy duty stuff. We're going to do that one day, right? I'm like, yeah. I played along with the fantasy till she wanted to hang up after she got hers. She's like, are you stroking it? Yeah, I'm stroking it. I'm like, I ain't stroking nothing. I'm just, I'm letting y'all into some tremendous insights in my life. I'm not crazy, but that's just the way it is. Yes, lipstick lesbians. Yes. I forgot all about that term. I'm trying to look for, I knew there was a term that, that's what it was. Black Ace in the house. Peace and respect from Buffalo, New York. Interesting title and show. I'm glad you understand. Like, it's not just going to be, we know the oppressors out there. We know the system is, but we got to talk about a lot of other things, man, to bring us some insight on different topics. I lived a full life, and I ain't going out without telling all of it and all the things that I've learned. And I don't think I know everything, but we can start with a conversation about most things. You know what I mean? So, might not be fear, but men don't like lesbians. You guys think women can't have fully functional relationships without a dick. I never said that. No, I never said that, because I've seen fear. I've been with enough lesbians. How you think, I'm telling too much. I learned to eat panani really good from them teaching me. I was good before that, but then, I don't fear them. They're my best buddies. There's some who might be listening now who I've dealt with from 30, 40 years ago who know me. Look, there's some who were that I'm not saying like the typical, I'm going to turn you out. No, but they were shocked that I was gentle and loving and we had fun. And a lot of times we're hanging out with them. A lot of times they left their girlfriend and came and hung out with me all night. We hanging out. It wasn't always sex. I'm not afraid of no lesbian. I'm not afraid of no gay dude, but I'm not hanging with gay dudes like that. You know what I mean? I like the female energy, no matter where it comes from, because it's always going to line up with me. No, I don't fear. There's no fear here. Well, don't forget, Tracy J, I know your age. I'll switch with you anytime. You're not old. Stormy weather, 90 babies. That's why you shouldn't be in the chat. Shut up. That comment was not needed. Oh, I just read it. She said it. Yes, I am. I promise to always be off the chain, Megan. I'll always be off the chain. From this point on, I'm just going to let it flow. I'm in the old man phase. I ain't got to worry about censoring anything. It's just YouTube. But everything I do, I'm going to just say it. If I'm a little bit too much over the top, say, listen, Lance, calm down a little bit. We want the old Lance. But I've always been this way. I just make sure, I don't want to insult anybody and everything. That's the way I've always been. But now it's like, we know life. We know what goes on, right? Why do we have to be so anal about it? Just say it for what it is. Just say it for what it is. and be real about it. We know what biblically this means this and this means that, but what are you seeing? What are you seeing? You see what I mean? What is the reality? Like when I draw something I see, I'm looking at it and I'm drawing what I see. I'm not drawing what should be there. I'm transposing on the paper what I'm seeing. Now, if I'm going abstract, that's what I'm seeing in my mind, and I emphasize certain things that just can't be, or things out of proportion, things that can't happen. If I draw somebody flying, you know what I mean? That ain't happening. You jump off a roof and gravity takes over. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm coming from. That's right, Megan. I'm going to say it. I was just always a little leery of people misunderstanding me. I think after a while, you see me walking with Miss SCURV on our little walks and all this stuff. You know I'm a well-rounded person who is rooted. You know what I mean? The trunk never sways like the leaves in the air. So I've always focused on being the trunk, but I got leaves too that can sway and move around and be off the chain. Yeah, I want to get into that side of myself more and share it. You know what I mean? My mind thinks so fast and I want to, my mind is a big playground. I want you all to come and enjoy it. Let's have fun. Like I said, the Lord gave me some extra gigabytes. Look at the size of that head. Remember Batman? Remember Egghead? I'm 2 inches from being Egghead on my head. For real. So I got all that extra gigabytes and memories in there, so I can't hold back. I got to share them. But listen, I'm going to get ready to skedaddle. And I got about 2 hours worth of work to do, and it's already after midnight, maybe 3 hours. I think it's going to be 3 hours because it kind of works slower at night. I have one monitor playing a video, another one I'm doing my work on, and another one that I refresh so that when I change some of the graphics, I can see. So I get lost. In this thing. And there's more time that I'm quiet than I am talking. So that's why when I say, when we do the shows, it's playtime because I get to talk and run my mouth. You know what I mean? And for those who have not downloaded the LANCESCURV app, please do so. It's not bootleg. You can get it on Amazon, Google Play, in the App Store. Search LANCESCURV and you can get it. I have it set up pretty nice now. When you see it, everything is there. It's vast. There's certain people on this platform you like. You can hit the button and see just their videos. See the artwork and the writing too, everything. And there's still more I have to put on there. LANCESCURV.com is the site. Dig into the archives by date all the way back. And you can go back 22 years. Before YouTube existed, I was around doing stuff. So it's been a wonderful journey. I'm going to keep on doing this. I love it. I love our discussions. I love our chat room. I love the things we talk about, the things we see in the world and come back and share it. It's all about that. So anyway, let me run. I will talk to you tomorrow. I'm always open for suggestions on shows now too, like different topics and stuff. We can go deep with that. I'm always accessible. Here's my contact information, lance@lancescurv.com. or 407-590-0755. That's a WhatsApp number, and it's also my local number for the United States that you can call straight through without worrying about getting a big bill because it goes through an app straight to me. So you can call that directly, just like I'm there physically in the United States, even though I'm in Accra, Ghana right now, West Africa, still you can reach me and have that permanent communication, because sometimes I might be sleeping and the phone might be down. Hit me with an email and suggest things or things you don't want to see anymore. I think that was over the top, man. Don't talk about having to take a crap in the dumpster no more. I don't like that I was eating. Whatever it may be, I'll work with you. I just want to make sure that everybody's happy with what we put out, and I do this daily on some form of fashion, And also, too, those who want to support the new Cash App is LANCESCURV Live. I think I have that pinned up at the top, whatever. And here's the other thing. I don't beat people down. The times are hard, but some people say, well, I wanted to, but I didn't know how to. So I said, okay, I'll share it here. It's no problem. But I'm not doing this as soon as you come to the door, beating you down, shaking you down. Like the pastor with 6 offerings, you show up to the church late and you're like, I got away from that. And all of a sudden, let's pass out our last offering. Like, God, dog, I don't have it. You got me. Everybody's looking at you. They done gave it already and everything. So it's like, oh man. But anyway, Let me get out of here, y'all. Much love to you all. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be another juicy topic.
John Hawkins showed up in our country, telling us of a land filled with luxury. He said, black man, follow me to America. There you'll find more gold for your labor. Our foreparents were tricked onto his boat. Since that time we've been resting us heaven. And take the devil into hell. Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition, stripped of our names, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion? Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die. But all of the years that we're living, for us there's nothing but hell, pain, torture, and misgiving. Yet the Bible speaks of a heaven filled with material luxury, which the white man and the preacher has right here, so we see. So my friend, take it for what it's worth. Your heaven and your hell is right here on this earth. So let's check back into history, which rewards all research and tells us plainly. Before the white man gained entry to the East, he was living in the caves of Europe, a ravenous beast, eating juniper roots and eating flesh raw, till God sent Moses to civilize him and teach him the law. Then, following Marco Polo, an explorer, he gained entry into Asia and Africa. From China he took silk and gunpowder. From India he took jute, manganese, and rubber. He raped Africa of her diamonds and her gold. From the Mideast he took barrels of oil untold. Raping, robbing, and murdering everything in his path. The whole black world has tasted of the white man's wrath. So my friend, it's not hard to tell. A white man's heaven is a black man's hell. Before we came to America, we were living in the East. By the Nile River, we were living in luxury, enjoying freedom, justice, and equality. We wore silken robes and slippers of gold. We were the wealthiest and the wisest people, I'm told. Now we are the poorest of the poor. Nobody wants us at their door. So, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven, black man hell. When the white man came to America, he told the Indian, I am your white brother. He said, red man, I'll treat you the best. Yet and still he pushed the Indian further west with his white woman and fire water. With tricks and lies he stole America. The original owner of this nation is cooped up on a reservation. So, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven is black man hell. He needed someone to work the land. His back was too weak. He needed you, black man, so he commissioned Sir John Hawkins to commit the world's most grievous sin, to take a man who's born to be free and bring him down to slavery, to sell a man as merchandise. On his body put a price. Oh, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven is black man hell.